Thank you for the opportunity to speak about Citizens Owned Renewable Energy Network Australia, known as Corena. Corena is a registered charity that provides interest-free loans to non-profit organisations to fund emission reduction projects. Next slide, please. Oh, that photo, by the way, is a project that we funded in WA on a community centre. Next slide, please. Now, Corena was founded in 2013 by Adelaide grandmother Margaret Hender, and Margaret and her friends read a report saying that Australia could transition to 100% renewable energy over a period of 10 years at a cost of $8 per household per week. That prompted Margaret to say, great, where do I send my $8 per week? But there was no organisation that was pooling community donations to fund renewables. So that prompted Margaret to begin Corena. So next slide, please. Now, we provide interest-free loans that are funded entirely from community donations. Loans are provided for projects that would otherwise not happen because, as we all know, community organisations don't have buckets of money available to them at their disposal, and they generally can't afford bank finance. Now, the projects that we fund result in immediate emission reduction cuts, and once the loan is repaid, all future energy bill savings are retained and able to be used by the organisation to further improve their services. We also provide independent expert technical advice to help develop the project, and we calculate loan repayments so that they are never more than the energy bill savings from the project that we have funded, so that the organisation is never out of pocket while they're repaying the loan. Next slide, please. Now, here's some of the types of projects that we fund, and we're also open to any other emission reduction projects that are not listed here. Often we will actually fund a combination of 2 or 3 different project types for the one organisation. For example, an organisation will sometimes come to us asking for rooftop solar, which is our most common request. However, as a result of conducting an energy audit of that organisation, we might identify, for example, that their lighting is very using a lot of energy. So we might also, in addition to putting solar on, replace their lighting with energy efficient LEDs and/or maybe some energy efficient cooling and heating for the organisation. Next slide, please. Now, we use what we call a revolving fund, and the money in the revolving fund is represented by the water in this bathtub. So we have ongoing community donations coming in as represented by the water coming out of the tap. We have loans going out represented by the jug containing a larger volume of water going out of the bathtub. And over time, we have ongoing loan repayments from multiple organisations, all being put back into the revolving fund. So that money is recycled. So when someone makes a donation to their first project, 100% of that donation goes to that project. As repayments are coming in, we take up to a maximum of 20% of those repayments to cover our operating costs, with the remaining at least 80% being recycled. Next slide, please. So these arrows here represent the flow of money from one project to the next via the revolving fund. Now, this is a photo of John, who was one of Corena's very first donors. He's also a current committee member as well. He made a donation to Corena's first ever project, which was in New South Wales. When that project was repaid, that money, along with new donations, went on to fund a project in WA. And that money then went on to fund one in South Australia and then on to fund one in Victoria. And this pattern of energy flowing from money flowing from one project to the next is typical of how our revolving fund works. So next slide, please. Now, if you look at this map here, um, this shows the projects that we've funded to date in our 13 years of operation. Um, so we've funded projects in every state and territory, with the exception of the Northern Territory, which we would love to have a project there. We are open, of course, to anyone making donations and to any project, any organisation putting in an expression of interest for funding for a project. You'll notice that there's quite a number of projects in Victoria. If you click on our website and look at all of our funded projects, you may even know some of these organisations that we have funded. Now, if you look at the text on the left of this page, firstly, the bold text, in April this year, we hit $1 million in total donations just from ordinary mums and dad community members. And that money has enabled us to provide over $2 million in total interest-free loans to fund 62 projects for community organisations. And you might think, well, how can $1 million fund $2 million in projects? But it's because of the revolving fund and the money being used again. And I just think that's just almost magical, the way we can get more bang for our donors' bucks from there. There's a little bit of data about some tallies of different things that we've funded, but the last item there I think is really newsworthy. Our 62 funded projects have resulted in estimated savings of over $300,000 every year to those projects, to those community organisations. And I just think that's fantastic. So next slide, please. This is just a snapshot of a project that we installed. We provided a loan of almost $126,000 to fund a 99 kilowatt solar system, and the repayments were calculated at $5,625, with the loan being repaid over just under 5.6 years. Now, that project was estimated to lead to energy bills, or avoiding having to import over 118,000 kilowatt hours of grid electricity every year, with an energy bill saving to the organisation of over $23,000. And once that loan is repaid after roughly 5.5 years, that $23,000 in energy bill savings can be retained by that organisation, and they'll get that every year for the life of the project, and they can divert that money to improving their other services.